So the first round of the ERC is gone and done now, and wow, it was certainly interesting. As you'd expect with tarmac rallies and Rally 2 cars, it was particularly close. As you'd expect for an ERC round, you have a lot of local drivers performing quite well here. Spaniards made up 4 of the top 10, 6 of the top 15 point scorers, and yeah, it even included someone like Unai de la Dessa, who is not entered for the ERC itself properly, neither is Alvaro Muniz in 9th. But there were so many stories that you could talk about over the course of this event. I think it's quite telling though, when you have a look at the WRC last week, it was the first time since, I believe they said, Portugal 2021, I think that's what Dirtfish said, when, I think wasn't it Lappi won in a VW Polo, that there was no Skoda in the top 5 in WRC 2. And yeah, here in the ERC, they make up 3 of the top 5, with local driver Jose Antonio Suarez winning by 20 seconds over Ivan Arez and then Yaris, and then in 3rd and 4th you have Giandomenico Basso and Teemu Sundinen, people who are veterans of the sport of rally now. Teemu Suninen's been out of action for, what, a year and a half now. And they're in Fabia's, and then top 5's rounded out by Jorge Cagliao in a Citroen C3, ahead of Mabolini as the lead Lancia. So again, one of those interesting ones where a C3 outperforms the Ypsilon, though the Ypsilon is in its first competitive season, so that's not too surprising. What I was surprised with was how dominant it appeared the Fabias were. Now in reality there are various other stories for it. Philip Allen, for example, had his high speed off. Elsewhere you had poor Miko Marchik out on Saturday morning. But yeah, it's quite telling that the Fabia is the best selling of the Rally 2 cars, and still is when you have a look at the standings here. And as for the driving itself, you can see drivers pushing themselves to the very limit. I mean, did you see the save that Arez had on what the penultimate stage? It was stage 12 where he locked up, dipped the left rear off the side of the road and managed to just about keep the left front on the road and swing the Yaris back around. I do wonder what the difference is having the 3-cylinder engine on a Rally 2 car on tarmac, because we know the Yaris is seemingly up at the front when it comes to gravel. So is there something that tarmac has a particular impact? We'll have to wait and see on that one, won't we? But either way, what it does mean for the driver standings is you have 16 drivers with points because Miko Marchik picked up 2 points in the power stage. Suarez will lead on 30 points, with Arez in 2nd on 27, Sundinen in 3rd on 23, then Basso on 22 and 4th, and Mabolini in 5th on 20. Now, how many of them will show up for the Royal Rally of Scandinavia? I'm not too sure. I would imagine that a lot of these drivers will potentially eye up Rally Europa Capital. But for the drivers, for example, who have got their eyes on the WRC next weekend at Rally Islas Canarias, I will also then be interested to see if they perform any better in that, as a result of having run this one here, Sierra Morena. ERC3 went the way of Lucas Zielinski in the Clio, 33 seconds ahead of CJ Coleman, and Lichtenegger rounded out the podium, 51.4 off the win, 18.2 off of second place, with the Irish cohort continuing to prove strong, with Callum Graffin in 4th and Cian Caldwell in 5th place. What that means for them in terms of the standings at this point is that, well, that's the standings, because I don't believe they do power stage points, from what I understand. The ERC4 and the Junior ERC, well, 4 went the way of Hakaleto from Sandrin, from Turkin, and I don't believe it did count towards juniors for this event. So, when you have a look at that, yeah, you have then Ziglani in 4th and Leder in 5th in terms of the finishers for the ERC4. I should have mentioned, by the way, it's a clean sweep of the podium for the Irish drivers in the Fiesta Rally 3 trophy, which does score. Elsewhere, when we look at the Tyre Manufacturers Championship, Michelin is leading Pirelli 49 to 45, VMF on 32 and Hankook on 24. And in the teams, the Recalvi team has a great haul here. 49 points. Toyota España is on 24. There's 21 for the Racing Factory. 17 for Lancia. 15 for Motorsport Ireland. Team MRF, by the way, are in 7th. Because that's how the teams works. It's interesting, to say the least. But either way, if there's something you want to talk about in regards to this event, do let me know in the comment section down below. Overall, I thought it was a great rally. It was well put together by the organisers. I like having Spanish tarmac rallies. I think that having these rallies that are, well, best described as the closest thing you can get to circuit racing in rallying. I mean, they're wonderful roads to drive as a driver, full stop. But I would love to see, because Islas Canarias is in the Canary Islands and Sierra Morena is in the south in Andalusia. I would love to see a return of, say, Catalonia. Well, heck, I think the IRC did Asturias. I've driven the roads in Asturias. They are beautiful. Or heck, if you wanted to go more historic, move the Andalusia event away from Sierra Morena and Cordoba across to Granada. That's been a gravel rally, and I think, didn't we have the Rally 1 cars rock up there as well at one point? I don't know. The idea of seeing WRC around Alhambra. Thanks for watching, folks. Till next time. Bye for now.